I've made up my mind. I'm gonna stop in Dubois for the season. At the rate I'm going, it'll take about a week and a half just to get through Yellowstone to the border. And the nights are getting colder and the snow is settling in, and I see why they invented skis. I wish I had a pair. It'd be a whole lot better than snowshoeing right now. But I'll pick it up in the spring. That'll leave about 900 miles or so to finish. And then Old Faithful Lodge will be open and I can go inside and see that. I've never been there before, but I've always heard it's really incredible. So yeah, I'm moving at about a mile per hour. It's really kind of aggravating compared to what I've been able to do. So I'm gonna stop in Dubois, go home, enjoy warm food, heat, being out of the snow. The snow is amazing, but living in it is a different story.
And we are off on the 2025 CDT, starting again right where I left off in 2019. And we're in the Brooks Lake parking lot area off the side of the highway, joining up the trail.
Not really going the whole way. Not for me.
And Katie and Keith drove me from Kansas back up to Wyoming here.
Yep, it's a lot of fun.
And they're gonna do the morning with me. Right here in 2019 is where I left off. Stood there for 45 minutes with my thumb out waiting for a ride, and got picked up by a guy from Tasmania and New Zealand in a van touring the area and taken down to Dubois. Are they good?
Made it.
Get a little muddy.
Hang on. Check those out. I think I earned my hiking badge today.
A little marshy around here. We got our first water break, and the mosquitoes are pretty bad. I don't know if you can see that,
Check out
but
my boot.
they're just buzzing around. Katie stepped in a mud puddle, and the rest of us are getting used to 9,000 feet of elevation. So we're working on getting back in shape.
Do I have good form?
Yeah, you're doing great. Here.
Tumbling down. Around and around. Feel the bearing around. Singing my song. To the beat of boulders on the elephant feet.
Keith's got a new best friend. What's her name?
Georgie.
Georgie, okay.
She's already famous, so she's been lots of movies.
Well, after our little fiasco with my water filter that I previously used not working and having to run down to Jackson area to get a new one, puts me on the trail now at 2 o'clock instead of the 10:30 that I did earlier. And Katie and Keat have just dropped me back off, and I'll see them probably one more time down by this beautiful lake here, and then I will continue on by myself. Water is beautiful. Here is Upper Brooks Lake. Just as beautiful. I saw a couple trout jumping in there. Makes me regret I didn't bring my little portable fishing pole with me and get a fishing license. That would always taste good over a campfire. But I got another 9 miles to go today. Trying to get to Buffalo Forks River, and because of the setback with my water filter this morning being completely clogged, rookie mistake not checking it before I started. I did a month ago. I did use it and it was good, but yeah, that was just, I should have checked that. So we hitchhiked from Brooks Lake down back to our car, and then Katie, Keat, and I drove to Jackson, Wyoming, where they had an REI, and I got a new one. So because of that, put me at a later start, and luckily the days are longer, so I think I can still make it to where I intended to camp tonight. So it's a little buggy around here. My first stream crossing without a bridge. So it means wet feet. So let's see. I guess if I looked around, I could have found a nice boulder set to jump across, but I'm always trying to make some noise. I've got a song stuck in my head right now. I'm humming because these little areas right here, I don't know if these are willows or not, but I always imagine it's a good place for a bear to settle down and curl up during the day, so I obviously don't want to surprise any of them. So when I'm passing through areas like this, I try and make some noise, just for that reason right there. Other areas I try and keep quiet so I can maybe come up on a moose or some elk or mule deer. But definitely it's different from the lower part before you get to the Wind River range of the trail, just in that you have to change things up a little bit walking through grizzly country. But encounters are rare, and if you're smart about it, you can make it even rarer. So it's always on the top of my mind, but it's not something I'm overly concerned about. I don't think there's ever been a more beautiful landscape. All the wildflowers in bloom, the rivers and streams and trees. green meadows and the snow-capped mountains. I say that now, but I'm sure I'll say that again when I get up towards Glacier. But it is just beautiful out here. I'm about 2 miles from camp. I'm gonna try and camp at the South Buffalo Fork River, and that'll be a 15-mile day despite all the, well, getting a later start. And I think, if I'm remembering my history correctly, I think Lewis and Clark went up the Buffalo Fork on their way to Yellowstone. So, me being a history buff, I think that'll be kind of cool. Well, I stopped for the night by the South Fork of the Buffalo River, and that's just about a 15-mile day, which is a good starting point for being just almost 30 and 6 years without doing this. So I'm gonna probably walk over that direction somewhere and make my dinner and set up camp right here, and that should do it. I'll have to hang my food in one of these trees, which pine trees don't really have a lot of super big branches to try and get, so we'll see how that goes. If anything, the Ursack is also designed to be tied around a tree trunk, so and it has the plastic odor proof liner, so that should be an okay method as well. But that is that. All right, camp is set up, so now time to make some dinner. So I'll be cooking, like I said, away from camp, and I'm going to enjoy filling up in this lovely river and having an endless supply of water. Let's see. Which tomorrow I'll have to cross. So trail is over there, right there, and there's no bridge, so I figured I'll keep my feet dry tonight and I will get them wet first thing in the morning. Well, first night out here. I forgot about the morning dew, so my sleeping bag is just slightly damp. I think as nice as it was looking at the stars last night, I think I might put my cover on my tent tomorrow night. But it is 5:55. I'm gonna try and pack up camp and get some breakfast and cross this river and get my feet wet. Actually, it'll be all the way up to probably just past my knees. So let's get moving. Camp is packed up. It is currently 38 degrees. And I have to get wet. So, good start to the morning. Oh, that was cold water. My legs are numb. I tried to keep my pants legs rolled up, but midstream they started falling back down. So, got wet from just about upper thighs down. So, that'll keep me motivated to walk a little faster to warm up and dry off this morning. But it's a good start to the day. Just came up that, well, more so that, from down in there. I think I came through there yesterday. It's beautiful. Hey, there's a lot more elevation climbing than yesterday. Yesterday was a lot of nice meadows and stuff to walk through. But he's a little bit more going up and down, get more into the mountains. That is some nice cold water. First little break of the day. My 9 o'clock break, making pretty good timing, so I shouldn't be on the trail as long as I was yesterday. I got probably about 11 and a half miles left to my next campsite, and I'm thinking probably around 4 o'clock, 4:30 I should be done, and that'll be nice to just relax a little bit, set up camp, and just enjoy seeing all the surroundings. Got a cabin up here in the middle of the woods. I wonder how many hikers have tried to open the door and stay in it. I guess that's the one downside of having something out here, is everyone will be trying to get into it. But it'd also be a beautiful spot. I wonder if it's part of the Forest Service, like a ranger stays here or something. Nonetheless, I have a beautiful view. Yeah, they must have had one too many people trying to stay in it. They made it a administrative site for the Forest Service. Put a padlock on the door. And an old reward sign. It's cool though. They even barred the windows. Wow. Well, whoever has access has one heck of a view. This is called the Soda Fork. And it looks like I'm crossing. So we will make our way down. I didn't like the idea of the balancing act, so I put my feet on the lower pieces of wood right there and held on with my hands to the upper ones, but they bend a little bit, so my feet are again wet, but that's okay. It actually feels quite good. I found some wild little strawberries. They're not too bad if I can get them off. I'll try another one. That one. That looks good. Just had a pack mule train pass by. I had a dog that snuck up on me, scared me half to death. Turned around and there was just this dog standing next to me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. This is the North Fork of the Buffalo River, and I just put dry socks on because I was getting a little bit of a blister on my foot from wet socks all day. So I'm gonna switch out to my wet socks again and then put my dry ones on after I get across. It's actually kind of nice because it's around 80 degrees right now, and so that water feels pretty good. The only downfall is you have to wait for your shoes to dry out again, but it doesn't take too long. Gotta go up and over because I guess the wind knocked down all these pines and it's a maze to try and get through. So I'm gonna try and go up and meet back up with the trail. Look at all that. That's covering all of the trail. So I walked up just a little bit up the mountain and there's a horse trail that seems to be open, so it's a good little detour. I'm still getting used to all the elevation, especially when I gotta climb mountainside. But at least it levels out for a little bit. Well, I'm done for the day. Did about 18 miles. Just a little bit more than I anticipated, but turned out to be good. So I'm gonna set up camp and get some dinner going. So I got my food cooking here, and I'll be eating soon, but a lot has happened in the last 6 years. I got married and I have 2 little girls, and so it's been really great. I feel really blessed, and that makes it a little bit harder to be out here because I miss them a lot more. Whereas 6 years ago, I was single and didn't have anyone to really miss. So that's really, life's been good. And I have to especially thank my beautiful wife for just allowing me this opportunity to be out here while we're in between jobs. I am able to take 2 months and try and finish this so that I could say that I walked from Mexico to Canada. And I'm very, very grateful. And that's my goal. And it's not often you get to have views like that to camp and eat around. It's 5:45 and new day, so the goal is to try and get to the boundary of Yellowstone National Park and camp right outside the park tonight. And then I have some camping permits for the backcountry of Yellowstone starting tomorrow night as I make my way to Old Faithful Village. Once I get to Old Faithful Village, my wife Megan and our 2 girls will be meeting me there, and we'll stay a few nights in a cabin by the Yellowstone lake, and then I'll continue on after that. Whew. I'm a little bit stiff this morning. Oh boy, I'm getting old. Let's go check and see how our bear bag fared over the night. My camp's back there, right there, somewhere. And then I hung my food up there. So let's go see. Everything looks good. All right, let's get it down, get some breakfast. So I think I'm gonna have to start wearing my raincoat and probably my bug net, my head net at night while I'm setting up camp and getting dinner ready, because it was good for a little bit till the breeze died down, but the mosquitoes out here are horrendous. I'm talking like 50 to 100 of them buzzing around you all at once trying to land on you. And my shirt's so thin they'll just poke right through it, and they'll get the back of my hands and my neck and all that. So I hear it gets worse in Yellowstone. I guess there's just a lot of water around. I don't really know why mosquitoes are such a huge problem out here, but they are, and it's miserable. I try and finish my food and hang my food and get everything set up so I can get in my tent as quickly as possible just to escape them. That's what I'm gonna have to start doing. Well, looks like the bridge is out. probably make my way over without getting too wet. I'm trying to keep my feet dry today because they've taken a beating being wet the past 2 days, so if I can help it, I'll stay dry. Well, one thing's for sure, I can definitely stay hydrated out here. I don't have to carry much water, so that's helpful on keeping weight down. We gotta climb upwards up to the top. The videos and pictures never do it justice, but it's beautiful. I try and imagine. You know, I don't know the exact route from memory off the top of my head, but I try and imagine Lewis and Clark coming through here without a map and probably just a compass, trying to navigate these mountains and find passes through them. You know, I at least have a trail to follow, but just the sheer, like, idea of trying to find your way through these with just a general cardinal direction of west, that would be certainly a challenge. I camped somewhere up there last night, and so made my way through, because I believe that was the mountains right there that I was watching the sunset last night on, and that's a general south direction, so I just kind of came up from there, and we're heading north up this way to Yellowstone. All right, now we go around up that way, right there, and inside that little pass, canyon, or whatever you want to call that, and that will get us through. Once I get up there, it'll be more flat and not as much climbing anymore. Here's north to Ocean Creek. Cross this and continue on. Something else I'm noticing, which makes sense since we're close to Yellowstone, is these rocks. You know, it looks like somebody just cemented a bunch of rocks together, but I bet that's actually from a volcano, and the lava just molding all these and keeping them together. It's kind of unique and different for around here. More over there, and you have your smooth ones in here. I wonder if there's either a stream that's bubbling, or if it's actually like a hot spring or warm water. I'm gonna feel it and find out. So I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but it's actually a spring. Kind of bubbling up from the bottom, joining the rest of everything. So we just crossed, just maybe 50 feet upriver. And it flows down that way. Wow, that was tiring. I made it to the top though. I'm gonna stop and have lunch here because the view is worth it. I got the Tetons right in front of me. Look at that. trail goes on that way towards Yellowstone. And I just came up right there. There's 2 elk. There's some more elk. Got another crossing here. Getting wet. About 1 mile from Yellowstone's boundary. So I'm gonna stop just outside of it tonight because my permit for camping in the park doesn't start until tomorrow. All right, done for the day. I'm gonna set up camp here, just about not even 0.1 of a mile from the park boundary. So tomorrow I'll enter Yellowstone and camp where I have my permits for. So that's the plan. That's a new morning. It's kind of a cold and damp morning. So it makes it hard to want to get up, but it's 5:50, so I should probably start packing up and get a move on. Gonna go into Yellowstone today and start making my way across there. All right, made it to Yellowstone. Now, time to hike through the backcountry. Well, here is the Snake River, and I was hoping to not have to get my feet wet, but there's really not a good crossing, except maybe trying to walk over that. This one's a little deep right in here, so I'm going to go over to where the rapids are. It's a little more shallow. Bear scan. Taking a break here, right along the Snake River. Just crossed it. I think that should be, at least for today, my last time I have to cross a river. and get my socks and shoes all wet. Because of that, I got a blister on my toe that I gotta address. So I've always found the needle and thread method for dealing with blisters to be the best. Now I realize there's really no true way to keep everything sanitary, but I'm gonna do my best, at least that I can. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this. It doesn't hurt, because the skin's already raised up by all the fluid from the blister. So essentially you're poking a hole and leaving a string in so that it can drain out. The hard part is going to be trying to get the thread through the needle with all this wind. Maybe. This is about the most sewing that I do. Though I can put some buttons on if one needs buttons. There we go. Just a little bit, just enough to, that's all I really need. Just enough to keep it open. Let's see. Get some scissors. There we go. Okay. Get some duct tape. That'll help keep the string in place. Let's go ahead and try and sanitize our needle the best we can. With all this wind, I don't know how it will actually do, but on the inside of the toe there. I may not have even had to put a string in there. It was a small one. Honestly, I probably should have, just to let it air out. I don't feel a lot better walking on it up and down these hills. It's been bothering me for a while. I could sit next to that all day, but unfortunately, I guess depending on how you look at it, Yellowstone has designated campsites, so I can't sleep here. You can hear the thundering of the Snake River coming with those rocks all the way from up here. Runs through. Well, wonder if it was an elk. Something got it. It's a nice leg bone. Check that out. That is cool. It's a little big to carry on my pack, plus I can't take anything from the park, so. But that'd be good over a fireplace. Something tells me a herd of elk is right here. They made a mess. It smells too. All right. So, I have about 6 miles left today. I'm walking to that mountain right there. And then I'm gonna take a right and follow up that valley to Heart Lake. And Heart Lake is where I will make camp tonight. All right. I stumbled upon her. Her little babies flew off and she started, and there she is still. Well, I don't know if you can really see that, but she is not happy that I'm here. Well, I was hoping to have dry feet the rest of the day, but this time I'm just gonna take my shoes off and walk barefoot across, so that'll at least keep my socks and shoes dry. All right, made it to my campsite in Yellowstone, and I'm gonna hang my food up there, and then go find some water. There's a spring nearby, and get settled in. Man, they were not lying about the mosquitoes in Yellowstone. It's crazy. Check out all these. Just trying to get in. Oh, there's one. It is inside. But man, they're just buzzing. Well, it's a new day. The mosquitoes are waiting to greet me, so I'm going to my rain jacket on and then probably my bug net while I pack up camp. And I'm gonna take the Heart Lake. Well, there's an alternate trail that parallels the Continental Divide Trail that's actually more scenic. It's the Lewis Lake Trail or something like that. Essentially, it just goes around Lewis Lake and meets back up with the CDT. It's like 1 mile longer, so I'm gonna try and do that today. Look who was joining me sleeping. Get away. Easy. Oh. Oh. Go on. It's okay. Let's get out. No. Don't touch my backpack. Hey. 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 Go. Hey. Back up. Back up. Back up. Hey. Hey. Leave. No. Hey. Hey. Back up. Back up. Go on. Go on. Ah. No. Back up. Go on. Go. Go on. Ah. Get. Ah. 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 Go. It's my backpack. My backpack. Well, that just happened. That was a first. I literally just, my mouth's a little peppery. Luckily not my eyes. I literally just walked over to unhang my bear bag. My backpack has nothing in it that has any good smells or anything. I turn around, I see him just staring at me. And then he wants to go be curious and investigate my backpack, which I think that's really all it was curiosity. He was more curious of why that was there and what might be in it. But luckily, that was a mellow encounter, and he wandered off, just strolling through after he sat and watched me for a bit, itching his ears. And he wandered off into the woods. So I've thought about it. I'm adopting 2 new rules of the wilderness. 1, no more leaving anything out of arm's reach, even if my backpack is empty. I'll take it with me to go get my bear bag from now on. 2, always keep my bear spray and my other arms on me at all times. There's been times where I might leave it 10 feet, 15 feet away thinking, oh, I'll hear something. But that's what surprised me the most, is how quiet that bear was. I didn't even know he was there till I turned around after getting the bag down. With those 2 new rules, that should help eliminate anything further, at least where I'm not directly in front of it as a deterrent. Couldn't quite see it from my campsite, but there's Heart Lake. I'll get some better views of Lewis Lake because I'll actually walk along the coast of that, so, or I guess the shore of that. Here's Heart Lake. You know, I haven't seen anyone for 2 days. I'm almost tempted to go for a swim. I can't believe this. I'm in the heart of Yellowstone, in the backcountry, right next to Heart Lake, maybe 12 miles from a road, and there is no one here. For as many visitors as Yellowstone gets, I have seen no one in the backcountry. I think they all stayed in the main roads. So I get to walk along this all day. Well, not all day, but I have it to myself, which is awesome. That water's that water's boiling. There's a nice stream there, but look at that. That's kind of cool. Look at that. There's some more over there. And just right along the trail here. This river here is bathwater temperature. If I didn't already take a little dip in the lake, and if I wasn't already so hot, I would certainly stop and take a dip right there. That is actually about waist deep. I don't know if you see that, but it is. That's nice. I see why the Indians describe this place as a magical land. They thought that evil spirits lived here, because as you're cresting the hills, you just see smoke rising and the ground opens up. And then of course, once you get to the main part of Yellowstone that everyone else is at, you just hear it rumbling and the just boiling over in the geysers. It smells of sulfur though. I don't want to jump in. That looks pretty hot. Look at what it's doing to the ground around it. Just the, like that stuff right there. It's like it's slowly eating away. It's just crazy. Word travels fast. I just ran into another hiker, an older gentleman, who said that he heard that there was some bears making trouble, or a bear making trouble at camp this morning. And when I mentioned that word travels fast, he said a ranger just told him that at 10 this morning down here. And I guess I should mention that I did run into some rangers at Heart Lake, and I just casually mentioned my encounter with the bear. I debated on reporting it because he didn't get anything. He wasn't hurt, I wasn't hurt. You know, he was just kind of roaming around. Yeah, when I told him it was me, he was like, oh, all right. And yeah, I guess that's all the hype around the Yellowstone Park, is that Yogi Bear is out trying to get his picnic baskets. This is the popular part of the park. I didn't see anyone in the backcountry. Here's Lewis Lake. A little bit more rocky than Heart Lake. Took a little bath in Shoshone Lake. Nice cold water. So had a good end to the day. Ran into another big group here in this camp I'm sharing with. A group of guys and some teenagers who were on a canoe trip, and they cooked mashed potatoes and steak and had boxes of Pringles, grapes, oranges, and cherries, everything. It was, after 5 days of having dehydrated food, it was very nice. And I also jumped in and took a little bath in Shoshone Lake. They tossed me a little bit of soap, and that was nice and refreshing. And now, well, on top of that, older couple missed their turn on a loop that they were trying to do, so they stumbled up into camp as well, and just in time for dinner, and we managed to find them a tent and an extra sleeping mat, so they are settled down for the night, and they will either be canoed out tomorrow morning with this group and save them some walking, or they'll walk 6 miles back to the trailhead. So overall, it's been a good day. Have to cross this a little bit up here. It'll be a little shallower where it gets narrow. There's so many mosquitoes right now that I just went ahead and wore my bug net because I'm about out of bug spray. So I'm trying not to use what's left until tonight. But they're swarming me all morning. Here on the other side of Shoshone Lake. Almost out of the bog. Walking through the geyser basin. Ooh, this one's gonna boil. Dude, this is crazy. Just walking along the trail. Sign strictly says stay on trail, which I have no problem doing because I have no idea where the ground's gonna give out or where it's good. Look at this. All right, done for the day at Upper Fire Hole campsite here, and that leaves 4.5 miles, maybe just under, to Old Faithful Village, where I'll go tomorrow morning. And they have a breakfast buffet and a lunch buffet and also showers. So I'm going to get there early and try and enjoy all that while I wait for Megan and the girls to get to Yellowstone later in the afternoon. And so I'm excited. It'll be really good. So for now, I'm gonna get camp set up and get something to eat. All right, it's 5:27. Got up around 5 because the birds started chirping. And Old Faithful Village is 4.5 miles away, and they got a breakfast buffet and a hot shower. So that doesn't take much to motivate me. Besides that, I guess the correct way of saying that is there doesn't take much to motivate me. Aside from that, it's still a little early. So I'm packing up my camp here. Just gotta fold up my tent, get my bag, and then I'm just gonna walk fast into town. All right, 5:49 a.m. Going into town. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. So last night, at first I thought I heard a bunch of coyotes right around like 1 a.m. or something. I couldn't quite tell until the final howl. It was a signature wolf howl, as if it was howling to the moon. And they sounded like they were maybe 75 feet, 100 feet to the right of my tent. And then they stopped, ran off somewhere else. I could hear them in the distance. It's pretty cool. But also, look at this. So it's like 40 degrees this morning, and these are all just, my hands are shaking because I'm kind of cold. But anyway, Old Faithful Village, here we come.